Got to keep in mind for everyone at home that also maybe haven't been following social media, especially Twitter as of recently, there has been a hotfix that came on through very recently, especially for both Lulu and Orianna, in the sense that level 1 ultimate has a 15-second extra addition of cooldown, 10 seconds on level 2 and 5 seconds on level 3. So early on, the ultimate is not going to be up as often. You can't have as much impact, but 15 seconds is 15 seconds. It does not make the character bad in any way, shape, or form. They still remain extremely strong in their own roles regardless. So we're going to see if they can try and now pop off in big ways. But here we go. Game number 3. It is 1-1 right now, ladies and gentlemen, in a BO7. It is not BO5 or BO3, as I see a lot of people saying in the chat. It is a BO7. So the first team to get 4 games won are going to be taking the series.
Yep, and I completely agree with you. You know, like it's I have no idea what I was agreeing with Max. Sorry, you know when your mind just blanks? My mind just absolutely blanked. Yeah, no, sorry. I was going to talk about the Orianna nerfs. Yeah, I don't think they're strong enough to sort of put Orianna out of the meta. The level 1 Braum invade, though, this is very common with Braum. He's a super strong level 1 support. However, there is a significant amount of pressure there for the red buff, and it looks like Xin Zhao's just going to go for a Wraith invade, a Raptors invade here onto the Graves. There is a lane swap coming out, by the way. So we have the Ezreal and the Braum on the top side of the map to match the Lulu and the MF. And this is what I mean by specific playstyle with Singed. He is a proxy wave monster, and he's already a little bit ahead of an experience. He's almost level 3. He's going to steal away the honey fruit there. He's now going to start to be aggressive in the red side jungle. I actually think Next Play may have played this early game a little incorrectly.
Oh, I'm loving it's coming up from NXP Esports. They're playing it so damn well. The flash comes on through, and that's going to be it. First blood for the Lulu. Not really who you want, but you know what? First blood is first blood, and it gives you gold regardless. In a really good spot. Braum going to be jumping on through to help Gragas, but those rotation and the way they played Singe to proxy the wave, take that gold away from the Gragas, then go into an invade to steal away the red buff. Like, all of that was just so well orchestrated. I love it. That was so 10,000 IQ play.
Yeah, but the problem was it was a punishment of how aggressive Next Play were, but didn't really get anything from on that red side invade. They committed the Gragas to the top side of the map too, and they did not take Singed away from the lane. So Singed was able to clear the first wave, then proxy the second, get a serious experience advantage, deny the honey fruit, pin Gragas to his own turret, and then also walk into the enemy red side jungle for the invade. What is going on here?
I mean, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I don't know why, but Aurelion Sol decided to flash engage onto the Orianna when she was full HP. That does not make a lot of sense, and now that's going to be an extra few frags going to be traded off. Next play in a pretty good spot, but Xin Zhao a little bit deep, gets some decent damage, but the frag will not come on through. Barely surviving, though, is going to be that misfortune. The flash comes out and not going to be connected for Uzi on that Ezreal. That was a fiesta and a half, I do have to say, Xcandra, as you would like to say. That was a... I'll say weird. I'll say weird.
Look at how low the Lulu and MF are. That is awful for Ezreal. That could have been a double kill for him. Singe just looking to be aggressive. We're going to take a look back at that fight again. They pick off the Aurelion Sol. They did manage to get the Braum passive onto him, and then Braum immediately flashes away. They're trying to go aggressive again. Pick up another kill onto the Graves, onto the Misfortune. He smites to try and get some HP back from the Razor Beaks, and Ezreal just gets body blocked because he smited the Razor Beaks. Ezreal gets completely body blocked by them, and then Lulu is able to flash over the wall and save herself with the shield. That is disaster for Next Play. That could have been a couple of kills that would have been able to boost this Ezreal, give Uzi the extra gold injection that he needs to start accelerating his lead and potentially become a threat for this first dragon, which is spawning in just under 45 seconds now. So Ezreal and Braum heading back to base. I wonder if they're going to try and pick up their first items of the game. Not quite enough for Manamune, so he's going to have the Tyr and the Caulfield's Warhammer, which, again, no completed items is going to be a bit of a pain if you want to try and contest this first dragon, but they have rotated their bot lane down very quickly for this. I mean, this is an absolute bloodbath of a game so far, though. And again, bit of a botched level 1 has punished Next Play. But we'll have to see how long it's sort of if it punishes them significantly so, because we are still relatively even in the game.
Yeah, Drake's going to be coming up very soon, 10 seconds to go, and you can see that already a few backs are coming on through, but I don't think that both teams are going to be ready for this one, and also they don't really need to go fully for it like we saw in the 2 first games. Here, I don't think we might be having as big as a fiesta as we've been having so far in these games, so we'll have to see exactly what is going to be happening as the Vision game is coming on through. Nothing too insane for the time being. Things are taking a nice slow pace, but here we go now. 5-man rotation coming out from none other than NXP Esports themselves, but the 5-man rotation for the side of NXP is also getting set up. There you go. Front line's going to be Singed. Put in one player back into the lane. That's going to be Orianna first going down initially, and now they can just put their focus onto the Drake. They leash a little bit too far away. It shall regen some HP, but it's still potential. It's still not off the table, and I think that here they just don't want to push their luck. They're going to push their luck, though, into the mid lane to crack open the base and take those tower plates. Extra gold coming their way, extra income, and also extra map advantage. Big ultimate from this Gragas, but unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit too late, and they will not be able to save the tower. First tower going away of Omega Esports.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, that's what Singed can do. Just pops his ultimate, runs you down, throws the Orianna into the middle of the team fight. And I think, unfortunately, it was just the way that Next Play were approaching that Dragon fight was what undid their attempt to contest it. And they were split. So you saw the Orianna on the top side of the Dragon Pit, the Ezreal, the Brawl, and the Xin Zhao on the bottom side of the Dragon Pit. They split up like that. That allowed their carries to get isolated. And that was just Singed's playground at that point in time. Isolates the Orianna, takes down, and once the Orianna's dead, a lot of the team fight power of this Next Play composition gets thrown in the bin, because essentially the Orianna shockwave is an integral part of how you're looking to play these team fights. You're looking to stick that the ball on the Xin Zhao's head, have him dive into the middle of an important position, and then you just shockwave on top of him. And unfortunately, if Trudy gets taken out like that at the start of the fight, you are really looking at a team fight that's going to go awry, and it was able, that's exactly what you saw happen here. Looks like the Dragon didn't get taken, though, and Next Play have grouped up for it.
Oh, though, good shield coming on through. Braum's going to negate the bullet time, and the Drake's going to be taken away, secured by the Ezra. Now it's time to fight. Next Play looking in a good spot, but here it is. Aurelion Sol with a Galaxy of CC going to be coming up with a nice double stun, and they are clearing up the scene, clearing up the rift. And that's going to be 4 frags going the way of none other than Omega Esports themselves. So now they're going to go for some extra push. Sure, that was a Cloud Drake. It's not a great Drake overall, but it's still going to help them out a decent bit. But Next Play, they got completely outdone, unfortunately, by that poke coming on through from Omega.
Yeah, I mean, a good Braum shield to block the Misfortune ultimate at the start of the fight. I mean, let's take a look back at that again. They saw the Aurelion Sol top. They thought that even if he uses his third ability to get down, they're going to have enough time to take this through, which was the case. They had a nice Braum knockup to stop the Misfortune ultimate. The team fight looked like it was going their way at the start. But as you said, the Galaxy CC comes out of the Aurelion Sol, and he is just in a super strong position right now. So look at how much damage those stars are doing. And once he joined the fight with that big stun, was able to get the damage off necessary, it was game over for Next Play. Looking pretty grim for them. They're 5k gold behind at this point in time. The control is coming through from Omega, and like I said, Singed is not considered a particularly high tier pick. Neither is Graves. If you can get a win with these 2 champions, that is a huge bonus for Omega when it comes to the future rounds of all-round draft pick. They're going to go heavy onto Disaster here. Smite comes through. The red buff gets the kill. And that is, again, another important pickup as they look to go for the Rift Herald.
I'm going to blame Jushin on that one. He stole, survived, and unfortunately, because he dies, that opens up the opportunity to go for this Herald. And Graves will be taking that one solo. No one's going to snatch it away. The Smite comes on through and now can go for a little bit of a push on another side of the lane to create a point of pressure onto Next Play. As I'm seeing Misfortune Lulu going down to the walls, the bottom side paired up also with Aurelion Sol. They could go for a nice engage if they decide to do so, but Misfortune Lulu just not ready to go for it just yet. Going to go for the extra build vision into the lane, but here you go. The rotation towards bot is still going to be happening. Good engage ultimate. Actually, no, that was not a great ultimate coming on through from Aurelion Sol. Unfortunately, not going to hit the CC he was hoping for, so the fight and the gank will not be happening for the time being. Things are going back very slowly, but because they see so many resources in both mid and also in the bottom side of the lane, this is Graves, in the top lane, just like, well, that's going to be an easy push for me. And here we go. Herald in the top side. That should be an easy turret normally, unless they kill it really quickly, which Xin Zhao is good at doing.
And they're just getting turret after turret as well here. This is brilliant play from Omega. They're just playing the map so beautifully. And again, Sin's just providing that distraction, that nuisance in the side lane. He's constantly going to be shoving waves. He's not exactly a strong turret taker in his own right, but he's very good at clearing minion waves with relative ease. And that's going to allow the minion waves to build pressure in those side lanes. We're seeing a lot of a rise of redemption. I don't know if you've been seeing this in your games as well, Max, but with the hotfix, or rather the change in the last patch to the way that lockets stack and the way that redemptions stack, you'll often see that the support will go redemption. Sorry, the support will go locket, and the jungler will go redemption. So essentially, they utilize both of them for the most powerful team fight assists possible. Look at this. I mean, this Singed just running them down. There isn't really an effective way to deal with him. Obviously, Braum is a relatively strong pick into Singed, but he just jumps in. Oh my word, he's got the Hextech belt. We've got a fight.
Bullet time going on through. Once again, going to get tanked up, but it doesn't matter. Brawl makes that. Oh, wait, way too deep going on through, and that's a great ultimate also from the Orianna. It's a great shockwave, but unfortunately, there's no big follow-up, and they can't do much. Also, great ricochet from the Misfortune onto the Ezreal. Can't remain in that position whatsoever. And they put so many resources in the top side and the mid lane. Ezreal was in mid. The Gragas is in top side. Like, we can easily go for that. And Singe is like, I'm going to create that opportunity. And sure, it's Brawl. Doesn't matter. It's still a frag coming their way, as the Drake is now going to be spawning up. They're going to go back to base. They're a little bit behind, but unfortunately, we're seeing that NXP have no interest in the Drake for now, and that should be an easy Drake coming the way of Omega Esports.
Yeah, no contest on this, and obviously with the Baron spawning in 10 seconds, Omega are now 10,000 gold in the lead, just over, potentially even 11, and that is a nutty amount of gold to have in your back pocket by 10 minutes into the game here, Max. As a look at this engage again, isolating the, attempted to isolate the Orianna, but again, isolating the Braum is perfectly fine, takes a huge amount of damage from the bullet time, even with the unbreakable shield up. The great shockwave, as you correctly mentioned, but the Orianna too far behind to really have a big impact with it. And it looks like Omega are completely in the driving seat in this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Baron on the cards relatively soon. They have a super strong team fight at this point in time, with the Aurelion Sol being so far ahead, as well as the Misfortune. And you can already see they are just coalescing around that Baron pit, looking to dominate the vision control and force NextPlay into an awkward situation.
I mean, in the draft, we were questioning, like, Singe, it's going to work or not, but this Singe is the definition of the word YOLO. He just like, I'm going to tank it. If I dice, whatever, but at least we get the man advantage early on, and that is what we're hoping to get. So I'm really enjoying how the Sin has been working out and creating these frontline opportunities for his squad. But everyone is just now going to be split pushing. And you mentioned it rightly so earlier, Scandal, like, they found so many turrets in every single lane. The first turrets every time. The top one is about to fall down too if they just get a little bit of an extra push up there. So the resources are definitely looking pretty slim for NextPlay. They are struggling to find these great opportunities. You mentioned it also, the fact that this Orianna is now falling behind to a point where she can't bring as much to the table. Sure, the CC is going to remain untouched, but the damage is going to be heavily impacted by her being so far behind. And this gold lead is definitely allowing the side of Omega Esports to be in a really, really strong position as of now. And of course, JLC Smart always on the front line looking to see if he can find someone, but this time around, no one to shove on your back just for the time being.
And also, you've got to look at the fact that the team fight control is so strong at this point, with a Rylai's Liandry's Singed, and I believe a Rylai's Liandry's Aurelion Sol too. So there's plenty of slow and a huge amount of effect damage coming through. This is the engage now. The Singed jumps in, throws the Braum in. Here we go, Max.
Another YOLO play going out, and Singed doesn't matter if it's a support. He will do it regardless. He's going to put you behind. Now he's going to go for the extra engage, trying to get some nice CC. Aurelion Sol Tooth on the back. Like, they just don't even need their team. They just need the Singe to do the damage with this Graves, and they are picking up frag after frag. Braum, Orianna, and Ezreal out of commission, and that opens up the opportunity to go for the Baron, which is exactly what they're going to be doing NextPlay. Like, they're just so far behind. I don't think they can make the comeback happen here, Scandal.
I think you're probably right, Max. This is an insurmountable gold lead, I would say, at this stage of the game. They do scale relatively well, but you're also dealing with Aurelion Sol, who's a great scaling mid laner. Singe scales relatively well too, as does Graves in the jungle. Misfortune, it doesn't scale badly either. I mean, it's not like you're going against a comp that falls off the face of the planet with this Omega squad. So I think realistically, you're completely correct, Max. NextPlay have just fallen too far behind, and again, it was another one of those situations where, you know, we ran it down at first Drake. It's just, and I don't actually think NextPlay made the incorrect decision though. I think they had a strong level 5. Like, you've got Braum, incredibly strong level 5. You've got Zinzao, strong level 5. Orianna, Ezreal, Gragas, all of them have got strong level 5 ultimates that should be impactful around that first Drake fight. But it was just the mechanics of how the team fight was played out. Chuli got isolated straight away. They weren't grouped up. They should have been on the same side of the pit and approached it as a 5, and they didn't. And that was the problem that NextPlay had. That single fight has allowed Omega to get their claws in this game, and they have not given up since. The Baron is now going to be a real nuisance to deal with the Singe pushing the side lane. They're definitely losing this inhibitor turret to begin with, and I think NextPlay are on their last legs in this game.
Yeah, now that they're cracked open a base, the objective is find a fight, win that fight, and then close off the game off the back of that engagement. So that is definitely going to be their main focus. They're looking for the extra second turret in the bottom side. They will indeed be able to find it, and they got such a big wave with the Baron buff at that. is going to be really hard to contest. Though Miss Fortune a little bit deep there, and I would say you want to be careful. She's still got the GA. She's feeling really, really confident. Every single tower in this game is dropping down, and this is looking like the end, ladies and gentlemen. Great Brawl engage, going to buy a little bit of breathing space for the team, but unfortunately doesn't have, oh, he does have the shield, but unfortunately the tank is going to be a little bit late, and now the focus is down on the Nexus, and it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, baby. Let's go. It's going to be 2-1 over to Omega Esports. History tends to repeat itself, and Omega Esports ready to take the dub against Next Play once again.
And they won with a Singed. And you know, the Singed came in clutch in that game